Hello everybody and welcome back to another video here on the channel. Now today we're going to be taking a look at another Windows fan-made modifications, a sort of unofficial version of Windows XP, and I've been seeing a lot of comments on both my Windows XP Gold video and my Windows 7 Gold video, which was last week's video. And basically, I guess that you guys really, enjoy these videos and you guys kind of want me to do more of them. And I figured, why not? I mean, this is something that I personally like making. I mean, these are, very interesting, versions of Windows, as they're not really like anything, official, obviously, but they come, like it's not just like Windows XP with a new theme. It comes with all of these bundled programs and a lot of extra features. Like in Windows XP Gold, we saw that it had like a Windows 7 like sidebar, and it had all those themes and all those bundled programs. And in Windows 7 Gold, it was kind of like the same thing with like a new theme and all those programs. And this is kind of the same thing. I mean, you guys were kind of asking me, hey, could you take a look at Windows XP Black Edition, and that's what we're gonna be doing today. We're gonna be taking a look at Windows XP Professional Service Pack 3 Black Edition, version 2015.9.12, which I'm guessing is like the date that this was published on, or the date that this was made. And from what I am familiar with about this specific version, the name Black Edition is actually a very common naming scheme that people use when they kind of make these unofficial versions of Windows XP. There's probably guaranteed to be a completely different version of Windows XP that has the name Black Edition. And so, I'm going to have this one linked down below. This one is hosted on archive.org. Which is very interesting, I've been seeing a lot of these hosted on archive.org. I think that the Windows 7 one was hosted on archive.org, Windows 7 Gold, and now this one's hosted on archive.org. So I'm not really sure why that is, but they kind of have the same thing where you can download the direct ISO image. You can download a torrent if you prefer to do things that way, and they have a PNG image, which I believe is just like the same image that was up here, which just kind of shows the actual desktop, the options selector here, which looks kind of interesting. It kind of shows you what programs are going to be bundled with this and everything like that. And it does say down here that this also does include the POS Ready 2009 updates and hotfixes, which essentially, if you've not seen my Windows Embedded POS Ready 2009 video, or my video on how to get Windows XP updates working until 2019, it essentially allows you to, get official updates from Microsoft until 2019. So that is something, very nice for those of you who want to, use Windows XP. And of course, you can do that on a, standard version of, Windows XP. And yeah, it just kind of tells you here all of the features that it includes. And I believe it does say down here some additional applications. Now, something else that I should mention is I'm making this video for educational purposes only, just to kind of show you guys and demonstrate this operating system to you. I'm not endorsing the use of pirated software, and I do believe that it cracks the Windows activation. I'm not by any means endorsing that. I'm just kind of, making this video for educational purposes, for demonstration purposes. So something else of note that I just noticed on this page here is that they have actually removed some features of Windows XP, or some like applications, like kind of I guess the unused optional sort of applications. And you see there's a note here that says nothing was removed that could cause system or software problems, only outdated and unneeded components. And it says things like the address book, Windows Movie Maker, images and backgrounds, MSN Explorer, Outlook Express, Windows Messenger. So like a bunch of outdated software that doesn't really work anymore. I mean, I don't think you can even sign in on the XP version of Windows Messenger anymore. So I believe that's it for a brief little overview of this sort of like I said, fan-made version, and I know that I keep saying fan-made version, but I guess unofficial version of Windows XP would be like a better term to use. But let's just actually, get into this. I have created a VMware VM here, and I've, given it 1 gig of RAM, a 40 gig hard drive, standard stuff that you've seen in these, past videos. We're going to be turning it on here and just jumping right into Windows XP Black Edition. I almost said Gold Edition, but so yeah, this one of the common complaints that I saw in my Windows XP Gold video and Windows 7 Gold video is that people thought the theme was ugly, and I kind of thought, when I was making that video, when I was editing it, that people are gonna probably think that. I'm sure there's people that love the theme and think that it that like that sort of like gold aesthetic and everything, but I'm sure, like, as I can tell from the comments, a lot of you guys don't. A lot of you guys think it's ugly, and this, you can obviously change the theme on that. But if you kind of want like the same thing as Windows XP Gold, like that, like it's just basic Windows XP with those updates pre-bundled for you until 2019 and a bunch of other extra features. Maybe this could be for you. But we're going to be getting into all of this. I'm going to try to kind of cut back on how much time that I spend during the installation, because I do want to focus the majority of the video on like the finishing setup now, because I know that I can spend a lot of time talking about the setup process and everything, but you guys have seen that a million times, so I'm probably going to be editing most of this out to try to make this video mainly focused on afterwards and us taking a look at all the programs and everything. So it is taking a while to start Windows here. So the setup has finished up and everything, and we are here at the welcome screen, and it was a pretty standard looking setup for the most part. It did, however, take noticeably longer. I have about 26 minutes on this video so far, so I'm going to hopefully be editing most of that out, just to save on time, so that we can again take a look at the actual OS itself. But I believe this is again going to be the same style thing, where it's just going to start and install all those programs. So right now it's loading up Driver Packs Finisher, which I assume by the name is some sort of driver program. But this CMD thing, this literally looks like the same thing from XP Gold. Like, it looks like the same interface up here. I'm not sure if maybe Windows XP Gold is a modification of XP Black Edition or vice versa. At least this Windows XP Black Edition, but yeah, I mean, everything is just automated. It's all done automatically. It's so that if you were to leave the computer, it's all done automatically for you. I mean, I guess except for this part, XP Gold on this kind of had like a timeout, where if you had left and gone doing something else, it would kind of be on like a similar screen like this, and it had like a countdown timer, and if you hadn't done anything in like, I think like a minute, it would just automatically start the installation. So we're just going to install all this stuff. You can see that we even have things like Windows XP tweaks and program tweaks, and 9 additional Windows XP themes. I do believe these might be the official themes from Microsoft, because there is a pack somewhere out there that will install all of the official XP themes. Move it over a checkbox. Oh, and it'll actually tell you what it does. So that's very nice. So you can actually, if you didn't know what some of these programs were, if you just move your mouse over the checkbox, it'll give you like a brief description of it. So yeah, that is nice. We're just going to click on submit, and yeah, it's just going to go through and install every individual program. I'm not sure if it's going to actually show the installation screens from those programs, or if it's just going to kind of keep that silent in the background and do everything automatically. But I'm just going to let this finish up here, because this is probably going to take a while, and yeah, I'm going to come back once we are at the next phase of the setup. Alright, welcome back. We have finished through and gotten through the Windows XP Black Edition installation process, and as I kind of thought, um, from like the point that I stopped the recording in the last segment, from that point on, everything was automated. All of those programs and features just, installed. And when it finished, it put it actually changed the theme to this, black. I believe this is one of the official Zune themes from Microsoft. And it brought me to the desktop, and it initiated a system shutdown with a timer of 30 seconds. So, again, if you would have left your computer and it was just doing everything on its own, it would be able to, reboot on its own and, continue doing everything normally. And I have installed VMware Tools so that we can actually, bump this up to 1920 by 1080 and get everything working fine. And so far, I mean, it looks like a standard Windows installation at first, but you'll notice that a lot of the default programs on the desktop here, at least, have been modified. There's no Internet Explorer icon, and you can see that we have Media Player Classic. There's no Windows Media Player. That's been changed to Media Player Classic. So, here's this right here. And yeah, there's no Internet Explorer. If you actually go into the start menu here, this like internet icon, which would normally have Internet Explorer up here, and you would, you can obviously change this to your own browser, but by default it would be set to Internet Explorer. This actually just opens up the Internet Properties pane of the control panel, and you'll see that a lot of the stuff in here has been removed. There's normally a option, I believe, on this first screen where you can, change your home page and do all of that kind of stuff, clear your history. In Windows XP, that was all done from the Internet Properties pane of the control panel, or at least if I remember correctly, I believe that's how it was done. So that is gone, and it's been changed out with Mozilla Firefox. This is the sort of default browser in Windows XP Black Edition, and it does want to load zone54.com, which might be the person who made this might be like their site. And this is Firefox. Let's just get this here. This is Firefox version 40.0.3. It says it's up to date, but I don't think that I have the network enabled in this VM, so that might not be the correct version. Let me actually go on my Firefox and see what the correct version is. Yeah, it's actually 49.0.2. So yeah, this is, a few versions behind, but that can obviously be, updated. But I mean, Firefox over, Internet Explorer 6, I think anybody would take that any day. I mean, I know I would. So, that's nice that they have that in here. Then you don't have to go through Internet Explorer 6 to download another browser. And from what it looks like, it's completely gone from here. I mean, I haven't gone to, look into the, Windows directory and everything, but so far at first glance, it looks like it's gone. And the same thing goes for Outlook Express. Normally the email client here would be Outlook Express, and kind of the same thing. It just goes to Internet Properties, so that's also gone as well. And it just basically gives you the option to download your own email client if you still prefer to do all of your email in a desktop client, or you can just do it all online, as I think a lot of people do that today. They just use whatever email provider they have. They just use the webmail interface for that. So there's no email client installed on here. You may notice that there is this recommended programs text document on the desktop here, which is essentially just a list of a few programs, and one of them is Thunderbird. So, and it gives you the link to download it from. It's got LibreOffice on here. It's got all of these very common programs that somebody would probably download, and just has them all right here. And it also gives you options to download like an antivirus program. Now obviously you can download things that are like whatever is to your preference, but it is nice that the author kind of includes all these programs in here. Well, I mean like at least links to them so that you can download them if you choose to. But yeah, the author of this has taken out a lot of the features like Internet Explorer and Outlook Express that if you were using this operating system in the modern day, you most likely wouldn't really be using those programs anymore. If we go into the all programs menu, you can see just how much stuff has been taken out of here, how stripped down that this is. Just for comparison, I'm going to put an image right next to this pop-out menu here of a default Windows XP installation, what the all programs menu looks like, and you'll kind of see substantial increase in the amount of programs that's in here. You'll see that the only update option is Microsoft Update. There's 7-zip is installed by default, which is very nice. Under accessories, most of the accessories are still here. We have things like the accessibility options. All this stuff has mostly been unchanged. Under games, all of the Windows XP games are still here. I believe that they're unchanged, so you can log on to the Hearts network and works perfectly fine. It's still the same old Windows XP Hearts. We also have K-Lite Kodak Pack, which is for the Media Player Classic, which I believe is MPC HC, if I'm not mistaken. I believe that's what this is called. Let me just go to About here. I believe, yeah, MPC HC, which is, Media Player Classic. This is when I was doing the Windows ME in 2015 mini video series, a lot of you guys were saying to, try out Media Player Classic or MPC HC. I'm not actually sure if I got around to doing that, but a lot of you guys were saying that this is a very good option for running on older Windows versions, and I'm sure on modern Windows versions as well. So these are some codecs for it, obviously, so that is installed, which is very nice. Under startup, we have this Windows XP slow boot fix, which just runs at startup, I'm guessing to speed up the startup process. We also have Unlocker, and this is a very useful tool. I've actually used this, I believe, back when I used Windows XP, because, or maybe it was Windows Vista, but essentially when you want to delete files in the system folder, and basically files that you by default do not have the necessary privileges to do so, because you're not like a admin user, and most of the time you have to be like the actual system user to remove some of the folders. And there's various methods of actually gaining access to the system account, but this right here makes it extremely easy to unlock certain programs. All you do is, unlock certain programs or folders and basically give you full access, full read and write access to them. And when you open it, it just gives you this little browser where you would choose where that folder is or where that file is, and it would basically run on it and change the necessary privileges to your user account, and then you would be able to do whatever that you wanted to it. And we also have BitLocker To Go Reader, which is essentially what looks like a BitLocker. So like, it allows you to view drives that are locked with BitLocker, which Windows XP does not include the BitLocker tool, but I guess if you were using a drive, or if you had installed a drive in your system that was BitLocker enabled, and you had not taken the encryption off of it, this would allow you to gain access to that. Then we also have a PDF reader, which I've not heard of this certain brand of this PDF reader, but see if we can do about, yeah, so it's just a basic PDF reader from what it looks like. And if we go into the control panel, I think that some of this stuff was changed here too. And like, there's a few things that are obviously added, such as Flash Player and clear type tuning over here. Then there's a virtual disk drive, where it looks like you can actually mount ISO files as, like another disk drive to use in your system, which is a extremely useful tool, because then you don't have to go in and make a whole CD just to use on your system. And as you can see from the system properties, this is identifying itself as Service Pack 3. The default username is unknown user, unknown organization, so that has not changed. And yeah, so you can name the computer. It did not really give me an option to put in like a username or a computer name during setup, because the majority of the setup was very automated and did everything by itself. So it didn't give me any of these options like how normally Windows XP would be. It would be very like, oh, okay, what's your username, what's your organization, how many people are going to use this computer, and it would be telling you like all of the new wonderful features of Windows XP. It didn't do any of that in here. It was a much more streamlined, basic installer, very similar to the Windows 2000 installer, if you've ever done that. But yeah, I mean, besides what I've mentioned so far, everything looks to be pretty much what I expected from this. Nothing like Windows XP Gold. I was kind of expecting it to be more like Windows XP Gold, but the desktop is very clean, which is extremely nice. Because Windows XP Gold had all that crap like on the desktop that I'm sure a lot of people didn't really like. And if you're wondering, yes, there are a lot of themes in here. There's actually a theme called Black Mesa, which is interesting. I did not see this. So if you're interested in this kind of theme, but you can see all these themes here. There's Luna Element Black, which gives it a sort of like Windows Vista style buttons. There's a bunch of Windows 7 themes, which gives it like a sort of arrow, but it's not really going to be arrow, I don't think. But it gives it like Windows 7 icons, a Windows 7 start menu. But yeah, it comes with all these themes. Of course, you have the old classic Windows XP Luna theme. If you wanted that, you've got a Disney theme. If you want this, just a bunch of options in here. I personally like this Zune Final theme. I think this is a very sleek looking theme. But yeah, I mean, for the most part, that is going to be about it for Windows XP Black Edition. I just want to thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, if you want to see more videos like this, definitely be sure to like and subscribe to the channel, and post a comment down below if you have another video suggestion of like another odd like unofficial version of Windows, as these are very interesting to me at least, and I'm sure to you guys, as a lot of you guys seem to enjoy my XP and 7 Gold videos. So yeah, just thank you so much for watching, guys. Thank you so much for all of your amazing support here on the channel, and as always, guys, I will see you in the next video.